Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. Jane, and I'm joined by the wonderful Shawn Comboy. She is our executive coach at GILD Coaching, Berkeley certified executive coach, and she is just phenomenal. So if you haven't met Shawn or seen Shawn yet, then please meet my dear friend and partner, Shawn Comboy. Hey, Shawn.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I've got my coffee,
Yep.
so I'm always good in the morning with coffee.
Got my water, absolutely. And you know me with my water, I track my water. Everybody needs to have water. So anybody who's watching right now, we're going to be talking about something that's not what Shawn and I had planned on talking about today, but we were just chatting before we started this recording. And I said, you know what? Like, this is what we need to talk about. We don't need to talk about this other stuff. I'm not going to tell you what we were going to talk about. I'm just going to tell you what's going.
Yeah.
So Shawn, while she is a very talented executive coach, she also has, what would we say, a mental ailment of sorts.
I have a problem.
She has a problem. She's a bit of a perfectionist. And as a recovering perfectionist myself, I understand the battle. So that's what we're talking about today, is just how to battle with perfectionism, how to overcome perfectionism, and how to deal with it. So you've got, Jane over here, who used to just struggle, would never come on here and laugh and hold up a mug and, talk like this on YouTube. Like, watch some videos from 2018 and you'll be like, yeah, she's changed a lot. And then you've got Shawn, who's kind of in that spot right now. Like, she wants to do everything right for you. She doesn't want to like cough or sneeze or like have any misspoken words, and it shakes her, right? So you've got people at two opposite ends of the spectrum. While I just said a wrong word. While I care about your thoughts because I want to serve you well, as some of our beloved viewers, I'm not going to come on here and try to be perfect for you because I'm perfectly imperfect as a human.
Yeah. Right? And let me just add to this. Jane said, I'm kind of in that spot. I am firmly in this spot. And even though I call myself a recovering perfectionist, I don't know how close I am to the recovering side. And what's really funny is when we got on here, we were talking about, okay, so let's talk about what our topics are, et cetera. And she was like, okay, I'm going to hit live. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, we were originally going to do this live, and then we were like, let's just record it. Shawn, we all have comfort zones. And I grew up on stage in front of a camera. I was a journalist. So I don't have, it's in my comfort zone to go in front of a camera. But I will tell you, even though I was used to being on camera, put me on stage in front of a couple hundred people, and I used to freeze. Not anymore, because it's become part of my comfort zone. So you too can become comfortable with putting yourself out there.
But I think what's interesting is just to really talk about it and talk about the gains that you can make, because what's interesting is I'm really comfortable talking to people. I love being an executive coach and digging into things in a crowd. I'm super comfortable, as a what I call a salesperson in my career. I 100% enjoyed that. But there's certain instances where that perfectionism just really gets me to I literally freeze. I mean, you should have seen my face when Jane said, okay, I'm hitting the live button. I'm like, oh, now wait a minute, we didn't agree to this.
She's like, you said recorded, and I was like, I did. Okay, I guess
you said this was practice.
So anyway, Shawn agreed, let's record this. Let's, record this to put out there. And that's cool because she's outside her comfort zone right now.
And totally.
You might not see that because doesn't she look cool as a cucumber? And I keep doing this. Sometimes Zoom will flip it. So she might be on that side of me, but whatever. If I do this, I'm talking about her, whichever side she's on. Yeah, whichever side. But when you get outside your comfort zone, it feels weird, and you have physical sensations of being outside your comfort zone. Some people get like hot feelings here, or their face flushes. I know one of my kids, her face will just flush, not from embarrassment, but just from like, oh gosh, I hope I don't screw this up. I hope I don't do this incorrectly. Some people get like a jiggly green feeling in their belly, so when you're outside your comfort zone, and your subconscious mind tries to pull you right back in, to that comfort zone because it's familiar. It doesn't mean that what's in that comfort zone serves you, because what's in that comfort zone is only what's repeated and familiar. It's why Shawn and I both have people do positive affirmations. At first, they kind of seem cheesy and weird, but you became brainwashed to be a perfectionist somehow.
Yeah. And you know what was interesting that we were talking about before is, because Jane also is a recovering perfectionist, she said. And what was interesting is that our perfectionism has hers in the past manifested itself in a certain way, and mine manifests itself in a certain way. And what's really important is to kind of really understand what that root cause is. So now that I'm okay, it's perfectionism. So now let's chase that, because then I can tackle the way I show up or what's happening to me in that moment. So like as an example, when I get into a point where I'm uncomfortable, I think that's when that perfectionism piece really comes forward for me. And for me, I kind of just freeze. Like I said, in that moment, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not ready for this. So,
interestingly enough, in the psychological community, you've heard of the fight or flight impulse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've added 2 more F's. It's now fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So, fight is fight, flight is I'm getting out of here, freeze is what you just said. And fawn means that you kind of lay down and let people walk all over you, or, depending upon the situation, like fawning here would be like, I guess, just not doing it well or being super shy, which congratulations, you're, like I said, you're really great at talking, and that's what you're coming on here to do. But we have to understand that fight or flight impulse is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And we need to be able to recognize which of those 4 F's we're falling into at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm definitely in the freeze category. But I will say this is, and what I love about, you think about this, I know this about myself, and I've been working on it. Even right now, I can talk to Jane. At the first of this year, she said, you know what, Shawn, we need to start putting some videos out. And I'm like, whoa, videos? That's whoa, And, and with a lot of self-work, now I'm doing videos, and you know what? I'm enjoying them. I'm talking about topics that I like. I'm talking about impactful scenarios, and I'm having fun. And so even I have to tell you right now, I'm having fun.
Me too. Well, I mean, I always have fun when I get to talk with you. And just so you guys know, Shawn and I do not live anywhere close to each other. She's in California. I'm in kind of mid-south is what we call our area. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. And so like our only time together is here on Zoom. So you guys are just joining us for a girl chat, I guess. So Shawn, for folks who are here, who are identifying with your freezing or perfectionism, or, any being outside your comfort zone, what would your, let's say, top 2 or 3 instructions be for people? Because I mean, I know that you still say, well, I'm still a perfectionist, and you're working to overcome it. So, but you are working on it. So what would 2 or 3 things be that you could say to them, or instructions that you could give, or encouragement that you could give to them to start down that road of overcoming their own perfectionism?
Great question. I think the first one is going to be set an intention, and making an intention about what you want. Meaning, it wasn't that, hey, I want to do these videos, because I'll be honest, in the very beginning, I did not. But what I wanted, I was going to get closer to by doing these videos. So to me, I think that first thing to think about is what is it that you want, and then set an intention to get there. Would be number 1, and really first and foremost, because then you can start, going towards that. And then 2 was really, I did a lot of work to see what was standing in my way, and there were a couple things for me. And then I'm just talking about the videos that where I actually have made some progress. But the first one was my perfectionism, and the second one was what did I really want to get out of these videos? And it wasn't, it wasn't to make money and all that. It was really to make an impact on people. And then when I showed up thinking, I'm going to make an impact on someone today, then I mean, it was so much different for me. So that would be the third thing. And then, or excuse me, the second thing. And then the third, that third thing was just do it and mess it up and grit your teeth and feel uncomfortable for a while. I mean, because I always say, no matter what someone's trying to work through, you're not going to feel comfortable before you do the action. It's you'll feel, hopefully the comfort comes, but you're going to have to do it a few times before it gets comfortable. So then that third thing is just grit your teeth and do it.
Yeah, I have a dear friend who is a coach. She's actually she's a coach who helps people who want to be public speakers. And she can help you if you have this dream of being a public speaker and you are terrified to speak in front of one person. She can help you. And she's kind of a hard A about it, but she has this one thing that she says, and you can fill in the F, but it's JFDI, just blank do it. Yeah. And like, that's really what I think you're saying. Shawn, I'd like to just take a note. I always take notes, everybody. My favorite little tool right here. All right. So number 1 was set an intention. Number 2 was identify your blocks, identify those triggers, identify what could hold you back. And number 3, just do it. Do it. Absolutely. So on setting an intention, now here's where the coaching part comes in, and we do this to each other. On setting an intention, a lot of people will say, and I just recorded a little while ago, I just recorded a video for YouTube. So if you guys watch all of our videos, you'll hear me say this in a different video as well, upcoming. But in figuring out your why or setting your intention, because you set an intention that matches with your why. So if I want to lose weight, this is just an easy example, is exercise and weight loss. If I want to lose weight, then I need to know why. Well, I want to lose weight because that's the healthy choice. But why? Well, I want to lose weight because it's the healthy choice and I'll look better, so I'll feel more confident about myself. But why? Well, I've got children and I want my children to see their mother with confidence so that they have confidence regardless of what they look like. And I want them to have healthy habits, because if they see me exercise and eat right, then they'll be more likely to exercise and eat right. So my why is really that I want my kids to have health. So I know by adopting health, I'm modeling that for them. And that's my greatest chance at making an impact, is not preaching into my kids. It's modeling it for me, modeling it for them in my daily activities. So when you're setting an intention, I have an intention to, I don't know, lose 20 pounds, or I don't have 20 pounds to lose 5 pounds. But because I was going to say, wow. Yeah, no, I can't. Like, if I lost 20 pounds, I have some sort of an odd disease if I lose 20 pounds. But if if that is your goal, then that's fine. But if you haven't identified that deeper why underneath it, you need to. And so the way to do it is to write down the question, why do I want to blank? Like Shawn just said, why do I want to go on and do these videos? It's not to make $1 million. I mean, you don't make money off of putting videos on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, some maybe, but not much. But it's to make an impact. There's people who are going to see that and they can grow from that. And they might become Shawn's client and they might not. But either way, she's planting seeds, and that's part of her purpose.
And can I just add to this a little bit? Because I'll tell you, my journey was really interesting in this. And it did start with a why. I sat down with my coach and I'm like, I don't know what's blocking me here other than being a perfectionist. And when we got to setting the intention, she absolutely was the why. And what was funny is I actually did a circle, because I started out with, well, I want to drive revenue here and drive new clients. And then we kind of got to it, and she was, is that really why you, and finally I said, no, actually it's not at all. I want to make an impact. If it's one person, that's what I want. And I mean, the wall that stood between where I was right in that moment and actually taking action just started to crumble. And then all of a sudden I was there, and it was that exercise. It's the why. And I think it can act in two ways, as you're describing, where you get down to, you start with a meaning and then get to a deeper meaning. With me, it almost did a circle. This is what I want, because this is right in front of me, but no, it's not what I really wanted. And when I got down to what I really wanted, then I was able to take a step.
It may be a byproduct, like increasing revenue or increasing your client count or whatever you want. It may be a byproduct, but it's not your why. So what you're going to get, like with the exercise example, your bikini body. Okay, great. That's a byproduct. You're not really doing it for the bikini body, even though you might enjoy having one. Like sometimes my daughter, we have a very open, like I'll change clothes in front of my kids. Like my mom never did that, but we have a very, very open door policy in our house, and whatever. I just think that it's important for people to feel comfortable in their skin. And if I act like I'm trying to hide mine, then from the people who know me best, then I'm not giving them that positive example. Yeah. Anyways, one of my daughters was in the room with me, and I was changing clothes, and she pointed this out to me after it had happened. She said, "Hey, I've seen, because I changed my workout routine. I was trying to tone my body a little bit more. It wasn't really for weight loss. It was more for like toning." And I was changing clothes, and I've got mirrors. I love antique mirrors. And so I have mirrors in so many different places in my bedroom. Like there's one wall that just has mirrors, like just with old antique frames. It's really neat. Ew. And I have one mirror that's, if you're standing at the side of my bed and looking at the opposite wall, there's one mirror that's right there. And it was my mom's, and I love it. It's antique. It's got this gold frame. It's very pretty. But I was changing clothes, and I had thrown my clothes on my bed. And so I was standing there, putting on the different pieces. But apparently before I put them all on, I kind of caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And my daughter Holland said, "Mama, I really loved seeing this the other day when you were getting dressed. You caught a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and you smiled at yourself." And I mean, how many of us can say that, that I smile at myself when I see myself almost naked in the mirror or whatever, but it made an impact on her. Yeah. So exactly what I want, I want to be in shape, and I want to be toned, and she's a ballet dancer. So she's got this awesome little muscular toned body, which is an inspiration for me to have a muscular toned body, even though, I'm 31 years older than she is, but
isn't it interesting how, as you got to your whys, one of them was because I want to be confident. And the reason I want to be confident is so I can be a role model to my daughter. And there you got it.
Absolutely. And then you start feeding each other. You start feeding each other lessons, because everything, I mean, the plant that's behind you, it can be a teacher to you. Everything in your world can be a teacher to you. And your mistakes, and I'm going to use the air quotes around that, because I believe that there are no mistakes. I believe that when you make a mistake, when you have a failure, and all these air quotes are going around this, because that's all fiction. It's only lessons. It's the learning. It's only a failure if you don't learn the lesson from it.
Yeah. And I want to add to that in terms of just that self-development, because one of the things for my journey in just this particular area, and it's literally to be right now with everybody on this video, is I also wanted to develop myself and to get out of my comfort zone and to get past something that was a block for me, that was paralyzing to me. And that's maybe a strong word, but in a certain way it was. And the journey itself has been really amazing, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm also showing up differently in many aspects of my life. So I may have chosen one thing to to work on, but it's permeated itself into other elements of my life that weren't even necessarily within that intention I set. Yeah, but doing the work here also impacts other areas of my life.
Yeah, it's just like exercise helps you sleep better. If you sleep better, you're in a better mood. It's the butterfly effect. What I do here is going to impact other things, whether I realize it at the time or not. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us. Our time's about up for this video. We don't like to string them on too long because we don't want to bore you. But if you've enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget, We have subscribers to this channel and subscriptions are free. Just click that subscribe button and then click that little bell that's right next to the subscribe button, because that will put us in your feed when you log into YouTube and you see that very first page where the videos are. And then you'll find out the next time that Shawn or Coach Kendra or I have dropped a video like this to help you overcome the things that are holding you back, like perfectionism, and live a more successful life.